Okay.
Okay, now I'm not. Can you hear me?
I can. How was your race?
Good, it was good. Hard. I've never fallen apart at the end, which I did,
Okay.
but I learned a lot. It was great. It was great. But
Yeah.
damn, Ironman's hard. Ironman's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's a long day.
Well, on the bike, I mean, I pushed so many, like I pushed way too hard, way too, it was windy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and that's my strength. So I pushed, and it was rough. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what was your average watch for the race?
197.
Ooh.
I know, it was way too high. It was way too.
Damn.
I know, way too high.
That's really high.
That's really high. That's way too high for me. For 6 hours?
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
Mm.
We might have to start calling you the Hammer instead of Miss Kathy Potts.
Oh no, there's no way. I follow her on Zwift. She's a beast.
That's the virtual world though.
I know.
All right, guys, anyone that's on here that's listening to Karen and I talk right now, we're just killing time to Mr. Andy pops on. He's having technical difficulties. K-Supri. Love seeing all you guys out there in all different places. It's a wonderful thing. Karen, what did you think of the venue at Ironman California?
Their reviews are really bad.
Really?
Really bad. Really. In fact, we got an apology before they sent the survey.
Oh.
It was a new guy. It was whenever you go to an inaugural race, you just know it's going to be a cluster.
Of course.
And they invited everybody to the swim start. The swim start, you had to take a bus. And they said, bring your friends, bring your spectators. Well, it was 9,000 people. They ran out of buses. The buses got lost. It was bad. And then the last part of the race was 2.5 laps around the Capitol, which is almost 5 miles. And nobody was orchestrating the laps. So a lot of people got disqualified. You can't do that in a rookie rate. Like so many first timers,
yeah, absolutely. You
just can't. And the race director didn't really clarify at the race meeting. And if my husband wasn't there telling me what to do, I probably would have like, how many more do I have? I mean, no, usually they give you a bracelet once you go around once, they give you another bracelet and they say, okay, you're done, go to the finish. And there was none of that. It was just free for all.
Yeah, so, it's interesting. They actually already have Santa Rosa as tentative on the schedule for next year already, if you go through the calendar. And so they might be getting rid of it and going back to Santa Rosa. I don't know. But I did notice that, and it I was like, oh, maybe this is a one and done.
Yeah, I don't know. The homeless situation in Sacramento was just awful. And we ran, I mean, I knew enough to put a headlight in, but it was like Mike Riley said it was record number of first timers. They didn't put headlights in their special needs, and you run in the Discovery Park with a homeless. I mean, it was just a mess.
Yeah, that sounds like it's a mess.
Yeah. So, but I've raced Santa Rosa, which is probably my best Ironman I've ever done, and it's phenomenal. So if it comes back, it's one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Potts. Hold on one second. One second, guys. Let me just see here. We're killing it today. Killing it. I started a new meeting for this guy, so Andy had the wrong one. So either way, he's gonna get in a second, but I'm gonna get us started. How's that sound? Thumbs up all around. Nice to see your face, Jose F. It's been a long time. Jose F, he disappears on me all the time. Like I sometimes debate calling the cops to make sure he's still okay, because he just disappears and it's not cool. And I don't want to see it again. So I'm putting you on blast. There you go, Joe. All right. Till Andy gets started, here we go. I think I set this one for 30 minutes. If we need more time, we will take it, because this is the first meeting of the year. I'm gonna switch back to me here, Karen, so that people can see me while I'm talking. Hi there. How's it going, everyone? All right, cool. So, ooh, law enforcement's in the building. Hey, Sam, how's it going? I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. Okay. So we got 30 minutes. If we need more, we need more. We only had one question post up. So if you have a question or one happens, put it in the chat, rock and roll. All right. So first thing, one thing we always talk about is, and it's whether it's with your training, in your life, with our team, you get what you put into it. So I'll use the team, for example. Oh, here's Potts. Perfect. Here we go. Mr. Potts, welcome to the party. Yep, he's there. Okay, so you get back to my train of thought. You get what you put into it. So if you want this team to be your friends, if you want this to be your education, if you want it to be your place just to get a lot of gear really cheap, it can be all those things. It can be so much more. At the end of the day, what you get at the end is what you put into it and what you want. We have a lot of scheduled programming and things we do, but Andy and I are pretty good, and the rest of the people on this team are really good at setting other things up and making other things happen. So if you want something and you're not getting it, either just go out and get it or ask us and we can help make it happen. I mean, we started these monthly meetings, I guess like a year and a half ago, because people wanted it. During COVID, we were doing weekly workouts. We started our Zwift ride series, which is coming back. Everyone who enjoyed that last year, our Zwift ride series will start in the next 2 to 4 weeks, roughly. Brian McEnany is getting that set up for us. We will have ride leaders, we will have prescribed rides and workouts, and we'll be good to go. That's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, we will be having these monthly Ask Us Anythings. We'd like to cover different topics every month and not just make it logistical. So if there are things you guys want to learn about, specific things, let us know. Otherwise, we'll do it ourselves. Like we will be doing more Facebook check-ins, things like that. We have our camps, everything else. Okay, so real quick logistics for the start of the year. If you are, I'll start on the bottom. If you are, I'll start wherever I want. If you are a Pots Heads Plus athlete and you haven't been assigned a coach yet, you will be assigned a coach in the next week. On top of that, we'll be having a meeting in next week just for Pots Heads Plus athletes. So we can talk about the program, talk about questions you might have, talk about planning for the year, so on and so forth. If you are a plan athlete, that means you get an annual plan that's completely customized for you by us. Please fill out the athlete survey, training survey, if you're ready to. I will send the link later today. Once you fill out that survey, we will start building plans. You will also get an off-season plan if we don't have your plan built out yet until you get your plan. And I will be sending a guide for that, and we'll have a meeting to discuss that. That'll happen in the next week too. One-on-one athletes, you will not get an off-season plan, nor will you get an off-season guide because you're not getting an off-season plan. You will be talking to your coach, and he or she will work on your off-season plan and the plan for the year with you. So don't ask for it. Cool. Yeah, that's what I got. Next, everyone on this group will get an email later today to fill out a survey, which has your race schedule. I know you might not have your race schedule yet. Do the best you can. What we will do is we've already designated team races for the year. We're going to get together, have a good time. I know Angelica Diaz really misses that. I do too, a lot. So we've already designated a few races, but based on where people are going to be, we will choose more races to have events. We will also this year, via our Facebook group, have private groups or calendars for every race where we have more than, I'll call it 8 people at. Yeah, 8 people sounds like a good number. And if that's the case, then you guys will be able to coordinate, set up things, have fun, and do things together. Sound good so far? Cool. Yeah, I saw some head nods. Sam, stop being a bad cop. Be a good cop. Let's go. Okay. Next, everyone always asks. Ooh, Todd Mellinger's coming to join the party. Everyone always asks, oh, what are the discount codes? I want to buy stuff. Okay, here's the deal on that. We have a bunch of codes up on our site right now on the team page. They're also, I believe, in the Facebook group, in a document, but they're definitely on the team page. You can use all those now. They're still working. They're still good to go. Our 2023 partners. Oh, and also in our team store, you can buy Wahoo products, some other stuff too. The price on the page is the discounted price. Cool. 2023 stuff. We will have a sponsored kickoff, usually first, second week in January, where we'll do special promotions and introduce you to all of our new partners. Takes a little time for us to get them going, so use everything we got now. January will be the 2023 roster. Word them up, word them up. Buy stuff. Oh, if anyone needs a Wahoo products right now, from now until the end of the year is a really good time, because they have inventory right now and they usually run out in December. So if you want something, a trainer to do our team Zwift rides or anything like that, please order it now so I can get the order in before they run out. Dope. Okay, the next thing, we talked about sponsor gear, sponsor product. Now let's talk about team gear. Everyone wants the goodies. I think we mentioned it last meeting. Excuse me. We are going to keep the same design for our kits for this year that we did last year, so you guys don't have to spend a boatload of money getting re-geared up. If you need stuff, you can get it. We made a few changes, a few sponsor changes. We added Kozera's logo with his badge on our kit too. So if you need anything, you can get that on top, and that gear order will come out probably in the next week is my hope. So you'll get gear delivered by mid-February before the season starts, which will be fantastic. Similarly, we will have 2, maybe 3 special edition kits this year. Those kits will be our camp kits, but we'll open it up for the rest of the team to order as well. That store will open the same time our team store will open. They're going to be spicy. Get ready. Karen, you're going to love them. I promise. Karina's going to buy like 45 jerseys. It's going to be good. You know it, Karina. All right, cool. Okay. Mr. Potts, you there, buddy?
I'm here. Sorry.
It's all good, home slice. So I got a few questions before we dive deep into anything else, if you want to answer them. And this is a good one. Forgot who this came from, but a lot of our athletes are traveling or they're hitting the gym, either in a hotel gym, in their hotel room, at home. Maybe they don't have weights. What if someone's turning into strength training, which we do have strength training available for all our athletes, if you want to get it, plug. What are the best exercises for leg strength for cycling?
With or without weights?
Give me with and without. Give me a couple of each.
Yeah. So cycling specific leg strength activities, probably the number one thing is like a weighted step up. So it's a single leg positional move where the foot that's on the bench or the block or the step stays in place. It doesn't move. And then you drive off of that foot into like in that same cycling plane with heavy resistance, preferably wearing it. It could be on your shoulders, in your hands, or on your body, like with a vest. Shoulders would be a barbell. Hands would either be dumbbells or plates. That's probably the number one strength building exercise you can do for cycling specific activity. Another lift that is transitions well and can be well for moving in all spaces in all sports is the deadlift. I think the deadlift is probably our number one strength building move that you can have. It's basically taking an inner mass and picking it up. It's very useful for moving through space for anybody. And what it really promotes for cycling is that really strong, secure low back and then the hamstring development, so you can get a full circular motion in the pedal stroke. So when you can stay in contact with the pedal all the way through the motion, it is a powerful contact movement, not just on when it goes down and then a little, pulling it just a little bit. There's contact, and you can have strength within it. So
Yeah.
I'd say step ups and deadlifts are your two biggest ones.
Yeah, and the hex bar deadlift is one of the best weighted exercise predictors of run speed and
Yep.
jump height. If you ever want to get into that as well, it's kind of interesting. It's really good as a predictor. There's a big study on it, actually. All right, that's really good. Andy, a lot of people have been asking about, like someone asked specifically about the Chula camp, but people are asking about all of our camps, like, what are the rides? How hard are they? What are the distances? Like, can I come if I'm not good or I'm super elite?
Yeah. So I guess piggybacking on what Daniel was saying earlier with gear, the sooner we can make our gear available for 23, we also have Chula, which is, I want to say February 6th to the 11th. Does that sound right?
That's right.
Okay. So we're hoping to have the team kits and the camp kit kind of coincide together for the Chula camp. Chula camp's awesome just because it's kind of the thick of winter, and you're ready for it to be like, do you have a light at the end of the tunnel, someplace nice to go? If you already live in someplace nice, then you're kind of dialed, Janice. But the group setting is really great for Chula. The rides, there's something for everybody, no matter what. As I continue to learn, we will tweak what we do in camp, but there are cruiser rides and there are really demanding rides. But mostly it's what you make of it, just like the team. The more you want out of yourself, the more you're going to demand of yourself in the moment and push. So there's something for everybody. Here's the best part about camp, is specifically with Chula and Olympic City. When we have a really high volume of athletes, when we get into the 30s, mid 30s, there's always somebody to ride with. When the camp numbers get really small, that's when it gets a little bit more solo, or you're riding with a partner in crime instead of 4. So we really would promote you guys trying to get to camp so we can have the pockets be connected a little bit better. And we talk about it all the time, Daniel and I do. So yeah, something for everybody at camp for sure.
Yep. Yeah, what I'm gonna put in the chat right now is a link to the guide from like 2020, I believe, which gives you a good idea of the rides. For anyone who's been to a camp knows that every ride's customizable, where they're out and back. You can go up 3 times, go up 4 times, you can go shorter, you can go longer. As Andy said, something for everyone.
And we'll sometimes split, like there'll be a day or two where we'll split the group based off of the feel and how the week is progressing. So it's not something set in stone. Just like coaching, there is a feedback loop, and we need to be responsive to where you are in the moment, as opposed to having some predestinated or some predetermined workout that you're going to do, even if you feel crummy. That's not the way to get the most out of your body. So we're flexible at camp for sure.
All right, I got one more for you, Mr. Potts. There's this story. Who knows of the story about the horse and the boy in the woods? Anyone know about it? Andy, you know what I'm going to say? Probably not. So there's a horse and a boy in the woods, all right? And the boy says,
"Oh yeah, I do."
The boy says to the horse, "I can't see my way through the woods." And the horse looks at the boy, and then boy talks, says, "Can you see your next step?" And the boy says yes. And the horse says, "Okay, then just do that." At the beginning of every year, I know people still have races left, but at the beginning of every year, the mountain could look really high and the task ahead could look really high. And there's a lot to be done. And you're like, I want to do strength training and I want to do these epic adventures, and it could be daunting. So how do you go about thinking of the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to get to where you want to be at the end of the year? Andy?
The next step.
Yeah. Okay. It's that simple. So the next step right now for you guys could be, and we always talk about it, is just establish a routine, establish a pattern, establish consistency. It could be just getting all your gear lined up. Like I know Mary Beth, she's working on learning how to use her power pedals she just got. It could be getting your bike dialed. It could be getting new running shoes. Just look at those little micro steps and saying, today I'm going to move for an hour. Tomorrow I'm going to move for another hour, and keep on building on that, because with babies, what is it? Sleep begets sleep, right? Like when you have a young kid, the more they sleep, the better they sleep. Well, with all of us, movement begets more movement. And you could be a different person a week from now and 2 weeks from now than you are today. Andy, I know you're getting ready for a race coming up. After the race, what are the next 30, 60 days typically look like for you?
Yeah, so as the season winds down, I try to appreciate like what I was able to do during the year. And then I try not to be like, someone asked me like, oh, do you take a really big break after your race? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's pretty big break. It's usually like 7 to 10 days. And they're like, what? So yeah, I take about a week to maybe 10 days off, and then I get back into it. There will be movement and associated with it. And I usually just do it to stay limber and to stay active, but also it's really helpful for my brain because there's no pressure associated with it. I don't have like some specific daunting heavy goal that's weighing on my back that I have to do. So I usually have some fun with it. And a lot of it will be like, hey, I'm just going to go ride my mountain bike, or it'll be activities that are that help promote fitness, but not necessarily like really nitty gritty grindy stuff. So, and I'll allow myself to gain like maybe 5 to 7 pounds.
Okay. Big weight gain there.
Big changes.
Huge changes. Although that can feel a lot depending on your body composition and how much you actually weigh as a percentage of your weight.
Yeah, it's usually like 3%. And it's not something conscious. It's just like, hey, it's okay to take a time out and stop being so rigid.
Exactly, which is good for everyone. Mental breaks.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a couple questions in the chat. Let me go after it real quick. If we sign up for Potheads Plus, I've actually got this a few times. There's a lot of people trying to move up to Potheads Plus from the plan. Can we pick the coach? Yes and no. Typically, we try to accommodate as much as we can, and we always try to match you up with the best coach possible. Same thing for one-on-one. The only time we run into an issue is if our coaches' rosters are full. And so usually the answer is yes. I could think of maybe 2 times we've had to switch coaches around because of just being full, and we want to be able to give you our attention. And then next question, what kind of Zwift account do we need to set up for the upcoming group rides? I actually do not know the answer to that, but Brian McEnany, who's on here, might know. Brian, you want to jump in real quick and let us know?
Yeah, you for any Zwift ride, as long as you can connect, you should be good. You don't need a special premium ride. There'll just be a link, and as long as you're on Zwift for their basic package, you should be good to go.
I will note that sometimes with Zwift, it's easier if you run it off of the computer to sign up for the ride, and then if you're running it off of an app, you join the ride. But it's hard to join the ride through the app, and it's a lot easier through the computer.
Exactly.
I will say with the coach on can you pick your coach? We do have a new coach joining our fold, Caroline Bloom, who I saw today. So I had a little chat with her, and oh, there she is. She's here. So we got a new coach and staff. So we'll be introducing Caroline as well.
Yep, exactly. Oh, there she is. Hi, Caroline. We're gonna say hi. Hi. Are you hiding inside in one of the aisles at Criteria?
I'm upstairs in the storage area, but I wanted to try to participate, so I'm here and I'm excited to be listening and all of that. So
Appreciate that. To give you guys some background, as we said, Caroline's a very accomplished ultra distance athlete. Coaches everything from kids to adults at Pikes Peak Athletics, where Andy and I swam, or he still swims and I watch sometimes. And Caroline's actually moving to North Carolina to bolster our East Coast presence. Between that and our upcoming camp that we're trying to figure out the dates for, we're taking over the East Coast. Let's go. Awesome. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
Let's see. All right, here we go. I don't know how to take her off, so it's just us now. It's all three of us. We're gonna look at our picture. It's a really pretty picture. Is that Palmer Lake?
Terrial Reservoir.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so I don't see any other questions in the chat or any other questions from my from the submissions. So Andy, is there anything you want to cover, or does anyone else have another question as we go here?
I did want to give a quick wrap up of we had temporary tattoos made for Brian Kozera. If you had the opportunity to race this fall and wear the tattoo, thank you very much. It was Brian's big goal to cross the finish line in Kona. So any finish line that you can get across is a real big testament to just the perseverance that you've had by juggling all the things in your lives. And that was kind of what Brian was all about. Like, he really was motivated by challenging himself, and the tattoo, the temporary tattoo, and then what's going to transition into on our kit is a reminder of just trying to tackle life and make the most out of your time here, because we don't know when it will end. So thank you for everybody who helped support the Kozera family through the fall. And there are still more races to be had. I know we have got a group going to Arizona and some people going to Cozumel as well. And then we got Indian Wells in first week in December. I'm not sure if I saw any other races other than those three. Yeah. And then the lastly I wanted to say was, Daniel, when you said the boy in the woods with the horse, I thought it was going to be the boy waking up on Christmas morning.
Oh no, that's a great one too.
Can you tell that one just because it's fun?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
So here's another fun little story about a little boy, or a little girl for that matter.
Right.
Runs down to the tree Christmas morning, sees all his presents, and gets this nice present, opens it all up, and there's a big, huge poop inside the box. Massive. His parents think he's going to start crying, get upset, and the kid starts smiling, starts going crazy. He's so happy. And the mom and dad look at him and go, "Why are you happy that you got poop?" He goes, "Because it means there's a horse outside for me." And so what does that mean? It means no matter what, your perspective shapes your experience. So when you're in a race, when you're in a training session, please try and use your perspective and how you look at something to shape your experience. Like, you always hear triathletes say, "Oh, it's going to be so windy," or "The water's so cold," or "Oh, it was so hard." Well, you know what? The wind gives you an opportunity to push more and put distance on your competition. Cold water keeps you cool so you don't overheat. Always use perspective to frame your experience, and you can have a great day, a great training session, no matter what it is. Fair enough?
Take it.
All right, Potts, I'm going to put you on the spot. You have Ironman Cozumel coming up about 5 weeks now?
3.
Great. Okay. I was off. Shows good job I'm doing. What are your goals for the race? On the spot.
Okay, goals for the race. So I definitely want to beat people. That is, as a professional, like, it is an important thing to place as high as possible. Outside of that, I actually want to break 8 hours. 8 hours is a barrier that, used to be rare to break. Now it's a little bit more common. I want to be the oldest person to ever break 8 hours in an Ironman. That's kind of my goal. If I'm able to do it, I'll break the record, which is held by
Cam Worth. No,
Me.
Cam. Oh, Andy Potts. Andy Potts. And I meant Cam Brown.
So that is a big goal. Like, I want to go under 8. And I want to see if the preparation that I've been able to put into the books can meet out what I like. I want to see if I don't race to expectations, but there's a certain comfort I get from what I've been able to accomplish in training. I want to see if that is if I'm able to let it shine on race day and I want to give myself the opportunity to let it shine. So, push myself for 8 hours. What is 8 hours? 480 minutes.
All right. Can I ask you a question on that?
Less than. Yeah.
So for everyone that's planning a year next year, right? Do you let your training set your goals, or your goals set your training?
Most of the time it's my goals determine my training, but sometimes if I'm going good, I will seek out a little bit more, whether that's within training, ask myself a little bit more in races, or if things are just going abnormally well, then I'll put in a race so I can, let things shine. So I would say probably like 75-80% of the time is goals dictate, and then the other 25% is if things are going good, I continue to push.
Yeah, you would pivot up, not down,
Yeah.
in that situation. And that's the only time you pivot. Otherwise, you force your goals to your training. So 8 hours, you have to ride X time. And so you've decided, oh, that's this many kilojoules or this many watts. And then you work backwards into your training, saying, this is what I need to do in my training to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes sometimes I have to force it a little bit. And that force, it usually comes like anywhere between like 9 and 6 weeks out. Kind of got to get over that hump. If it's not coming to me, then I'm like, push. And then it's like, okay, here's the new baseline.
Yeah. So everyone out there who has goals in mind, you start with the goal, and then we build the plan to the goal. And if we're not getting there, you have to, like Andy said, force it and pivot to be able to get to the goal. Make sense?
And there's 2 ways to kind of do it. You can either do it from the bottom up or top down. Top down would be like volume oriented. Bottom up would be like power oriented. So you're like, as you're getting more fit, your power starts to rise to meet the demand. Or we go high volume and say, okay, we're just going to get you, as your fitness improves, that volume, you're able to put more work into that same volume.
Yeah, and that's just a function of how your body reacts to the training, and then kind of playing off each other that way. Right. Can you talk a little bit about, because we only have a couple minutes here, what you're doing a little different in your running right now, for the people out there, and because it's stuff they're going to see this year, because we've, for the group, Andy and I've learned a lot this year with running. And so a lot of new things, believe it or not. And so we're going to be implementing that for all of you. So again, we test on ourselves, learn, and then you guys get the benefits of that, which is pretty good. So
I think that's probably one of the nicest things that we do, in terms of like, getting a real test of, does a certain philosophy work specifically with running. What I'm changing up is actually, on my interval days or really hard days, I wasn't running fast enough to get my blood to change and the recruitment of my muscles to really fire. So I reversed it. Instead of going a really difficult, demanding bike into a demanding run, I switched it and I went run first, bike second. A byproduct of that was my watts on the bike surprisingly maybe bumped 1 or 2 up. So I was able to maintain or even increase my watts on the bike just because I was ready for it. And then on the run, I'm running faster. I'm asking more of myself because I'm not as fatigued from the ride. And the recruitment process is increasing. It's a little bit heavier breathing. It's harder to do. The demand is higher, but I'm moving faster at the same time. So it's not like it just got harder and I'm going the same speed. It got harder and I'm going faster. So there is a reward there. So we're going to start to play around with running first, riding second, once or twice a week to make sure that we're really working the right systems by distance and by sport for everybody.
Yeah, for you guys out there, we always get the question, especially people that are on a plan or whatever. What should I do first? Should I swim, bike, or run? And the default answer, which is probably the best one still, is you do what you can do. So like you have jobs, you have kids, you have life, you do what you can do. But if you have a priority workout, something that's, a tempo or threshold run or a tempo or threshold bike, you should probably do that first. As we always say, you make the main thing the main thing. And you do that first, and then you do your subsequent workouts after, if you can, if it fits into your life. Cool.
Okay. I think we're going to lose everybody.
All right, Mr. Potts, got any final words of wisdom for everyone?
No, you've got a race coming up. Make the most of it. End the year on a high note. If you don't have a race coming up, keep moving and let your mind kind of wander for a little bit till you're able to set new goals. And then those new goals will get the impetus rolling for 2023. Best year ever.
Word them up. If you guys have any other questions, you just have to ask in the forum. You can email us. You can text. You can send me a letter in the mail if you want to. It just might take a little longer for me to get back to you that way. Otherwise, be on the lookout. Email will come out today or probably tomorrow morning with a lot of the action items we just talked about. We are here and ready for you. Let's have an awesome 2023. Holla. Peace.
See you, everybody.